Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us live today. My name is Sharon Watkins, and I'm the loan officer here at Central Texas College. And today I'll be discussing some key information about how to keep life progressing after this COVID pandemic that we've been in. So bear with me one moment. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. My share screen doesn't want to work.
Kiana, can you share your screen, please?
We have two different presentations.
Okay, there.
Yeah, something's wrong with this. Okay, that's weird. Sorry about the delay, guys. All right. Sorry about that, guys. You know, technology is always, it's either hit or miss sometimes. All right, let's get into it. Navigating financials during COVID. So as we know, 2020 began a pandemic in our nation that impacted many families and students negatively. As we enter 2021, some of us are still feeling those effects as we continue through this pandemic, right? This presentation that I'm going to provide for you guys today will just give you some brief information on some resources, key tips to make sure that you come out ahead and stay ahead amongst everything that's going on in this nation right now. So looking for COVID-19 loan relief, as we all know, the good thing that came out of it is everybody was placed on a deferment status, which meant that nobody was required to make any payments or pay your interest for those of you students that are still in school while the pandemic was going on. Unfortunately, at the end of January 31st to be exact, that order will end unless unless the president decides to extend it further. At this time, I have not got any information that said it will be extended further. So that means that in order to make sure that you're going to come out ahead at the end of that grace period that we were given, you want to save any money that you are receiving at this time. Any extra funds that you do have, you want to utilize those funds to put towards debt, and you want to invest if you can. If you are no longer attending college or have graduated and are out of the 6-month grace period, like I stated, as of January 31st or February 1, repayments will resume. To prepare yourself for that, place that budget into place that amount into your monthly budget. Also, contact your loan servicer and ask them for an income-based repayment plan, because what that does is it looks at your current financial status, and they set your payments around what you can afford. So you don't want to put yourself into debt trying to pay what you were previously paying because situations may have changed, right? So one way to stay ahead of that is to contact your loan servicer and make sure that you are inquiring about the income-based repayment plan if you are in the repayment period. If you are still a current student, the only thing that you are required to pay on is the interest for your unsubsidized loan while you're in school. That interest amount is typically about $7 to $10 per month. So for instance, what I recommend for students that are still currently in classes is if you get a refund this semester, put $21 to pay up 3 months of your interest. So for $21, that's about $7 a month, which would be your interest for 3 months. Put that aside and go ahead and pay up for 3 months and put yourself ahead a little bit. If you need any additional funding, I'm not quite sure what's available as far as the community goes, but make sure that if you haven't already taken advantage of any in-house grants that CTC has to offer or whatever institution you are attending, make sure that you inquire about in-house grants and scholarships that you can apply for. I know most colleges do have scholarship deadline windows, and that has already passed, but you do have community scholarships. So make sure that you're looking and try to utilize some of those scholarships that are in the community and available for you. Some do's and don'ts while we're experiencing this pandemic. Do continue to pay your bills the best you can. You don't want to find yourself in a hole that you can't get out of, right? Don't abruptly stop paying your bills because that's not going to benefit you in the long run. Most companies are apt right now to make payment arrangements and work with you. So just be vocal in that. Don't get into any unnecessary debt. I cannot stress this enough. If you cannot afford it, do not get into it. But now is not the time for that, especially because everything's so up and down and shaky. Unless you're financially stable, then of course I can't tell you, how to spend your funds. But I do not recommend, if you're struggling and trying to get ahead, to open up any unnecessary debt. Help is available. You have to know your resources in your community. For Texas, we do have 211, and they are basically your resource hotline. Call them and find out if you need help paying rent, for instance, any help with your utilities or bills. That is available. Here at CTC, we do have the Eagle Fund. I don't know what their balance is currently looking like or, what their pot looks like to be able to help, but that is a resource here on campus that is available for you. Educational resources. As we know, we are still online, so everybody's taking their courses online right now. You may find yourself struggling because you may be overwhelmed with everything that you have to deal with. Know that help is available. Tutoring is available via the academic studio, and I do encourage every student that if you find yourself, in a hole, in a rut, and you're struggling with your classes, to take advantage of that service that's available for you. Textbook lending and child care assistance programs are also available via the Student Success Center. I myself am a mother, so I am currently, feeling some of the effects that COVID has when it comes to your children, right? So I myself will personally be reaching out to try to see about the child care assistance because, sometimes we just need it. So don't feel embarrassed to ask. Don't feel like, you're going to be looked down upon. These resources are here to make sure that you're as successful as possible throughout your journey with us. Self-care, I cannot stress this enough. Reach out, speak out if you're not okay, okay? It's okay to not be okay. We all have had to adjust and make some adjustments that are really, striking on all of us. It was very unexpected and it's continuing and it's, we get it. So go for a walk, go to the park, get you as much fresh air as you can. Self-care is important. If you know someone or yourself is struggling, please call or reach out to Starry. They are a mental health resource that is available. And I have provided their telephone number as well as their website. Just make sure that we are taking care of self first because, like I said, it can get very trying from your day-to-day, having to adjust and, be at home all the time, taking classes and things like that. We get it. It is very overwhelming. So make sure you do put that self-care into place. That is the end of my slideshow presentation. It was quick, sweet, and to the point, I do know. I just wanted to make sure that I provided you guys some type of resources and information and keys to try to stay afloat during this time. Do anyone have any questions? Okay, and so just to reiterate, we do have scholarships that are open for fall 2021. Now is the time to go ahead and get those applications in, guys. Remember, scholarship is money that you do not have to pay back. That's literally free money to help you pay for your classes, help you cover the cost of books and supplies or anything like that. So now at CTC, our scholarship application window is open for fall 2021. It will take effect in August. Anything else? Guys, another thing too. So a lot of things that we are seeing in the loan department right now specifically, I know students, you may have gotten confused because a letter was sent out letting you know to complete an acknowledgement form. That is not going to affect you until the 2021-2022 academic year. So really you can disregard it. If you went ahead and completed it, that's perfectly fine. You're just ahead of the curve. But it's not going to be actually required until next academic year, which begins in the fall, in August. So I know that's something that's been very confusing for students. Also, make sure that if you haven't completed the 2021-2022 FAFSA, you go ahead and get that completed now while there's still time to go ahead and get you packaged and awarded possibly before the August semester comes, okay? We don't want to wait till the last minute because, again, these are resources that can be used for you to keep you afloat and keep you ahead during this time. Will this presentation be available to share and review later in case you know somebody who may benefit from the information? The answer is going to be yes. You can always find this, this information on the CTC website, YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and it streams across some other live platforms as well. Eagle Mail is very important when we are communicating with you students. So if you're not familiar with Eagle Mail, make sure you log in for the first time because that's where all your communications are going to come. So remember I was saying how it is now the time to put in your FAFSA. Well, once you put that in, the way that the financial aid communicates with students or any department communicates with you students is through Eagle Mail. Go ahead and log in for the first time if you have never logged in before. And if you need assistance, you can always reach out to the IT help desk. They can be reached either via online, via web chat, or you can contact them via phone. So no one have any questions? Everybody just knows everything? Is there some more resources you're interested in learning about? I'm here to answer any questions that you guys may have. I know we get a lot of email traffic, so sometimes your questions are delayed getting answered once you email them to us. So now would be a good time to reach out and ask your questions that you may have because you can get a live answer right here, right now. If there's any resources I may have missed, I know I try to cover, supply our books and, childcare and any additional funds that you could possibly use during this time. If there's any topic that I may have missed that you want information about, I can definitely answer those questions. So why do we need more paperwork? I'm not clear on that. Why do you need more paperwork? Okay, so if your FAFSA application was approved by the Department of Education, that's just the Department of Education. What happens after you fill out your FAFSA and it's processed, it goes to the school, and from there, you may be selected for a process called verification. It's done at random, so it's not like we select the students we want to verify their information. It just comes in at random if you're selected for verification, and then that's when we ask for additional paperwork. And then sometimes you've already been awarded financial aid, but then something changes and then you have to, then you're selected for verification and because of that change, and then, now we're requesting documents from you. But it all goes back to being selected for verification, which is done at random. Yes, if you are a ward of the state, you definitely can get financial aid because, as you know, we go to school. I say we because I once too was a ward of the state as well. You go to, you should get a tuition fee waiver. I can definitely provide more information about that, but you should receive a tuition fee waiver. You provide that to registration, and then once it's on file, you go ahead and complete your FAFSA like normal. There should be a box that you'll check that asks you if you were a ward of the state or in foster care and things like that. Check that box, and then it comes into us. We probably won't request any information. We don't verify that piece of it once you check it. As long as you have that documentation in registration or admissions department, you will not get a bill, and your financial aid will get processed as normal. I can be reached via email at sharon.watkins@ctcd.edu, or I can be reached via phone on my direct line at 254-616-3313. Again, that is 254-616-3313, or by email. The quickest way to get a hold of me would be by email. I check those more regularly than I check my voicemail. I tend to check my voicemail about twice a week, just because we're flooded right now with emails, so I'm trying to get ahead of that. So quickest way to get a hold of me would be the email. And again, that email address is sharon.watkins@ctcd.edu. Awesome. Those are some great questions. You know, it allowed me to provide some great information for different scenarios that some people may not wanted to speak up on and things like that. So thank you so much for your questions. It's been a pleasure to assist you guys.